What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. If Mina looks shocked, that's because a bit of magic just happened whilst the intro was playing. We clicked go live. There was 3 people. Once the intro finished playing, suddenly there was 5. It was like magic.
I'm actually shocked, to be honest.
It was quite magic, actually. Big up to everyone. Big up. Welcome back to the full view. Big up to the panel. Big up to KG. Big up to Mina. Big up to Cam. Big up to Marcel. KG with the big bombs already.
It's the big bomb. It's too loud. It's too loud. I've got to sort it out. There you go. That's
there you
more
go.
like
there
it.
you go. What'd you call it? There you go. What'd you call it? It's cool. Wait a minute. We've got quite a lot to talk about today. Transfer news, a lot happening. Of course, the players are back for the first day of pre-season. Some people there longer than others. There's chat this evening about Mason Greenwood never being so close to a move to Marseille and a possible move there. We've got more talks about Joshua Zirkzee and that deal going from almost there to being close to being very close. Yeah, exactly. So there's plenty to get into. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Let us know where you're at in the chat and enjoying this summer evening. Marcel, I'm going to start with you, my friend. Let's start off talking a bit about Joshua Zirkzee, because this one is the deal that looks to be most close to happening. According to the Daily Mail today, Manchester United had a recruitment meeting, all hands on deck. Everyone's now back at Carrington, at least the executives. Certainly they were there today, in addition to other players, not international players, returning. And according to the Daily Mail, Manchester United's discussions over Joshua Zirkzee have moved forward in the last 24 hours, with an agreement now being described as, quote, very close. According to Jamie Jackson, United are closing in on signing Joshua Zirkzee after the terms of the striker and his agent's commission has been agreed. But the only thing that's up in the air right now, or is being deliberated, is to whether to trigger the £34 million release clause or negotiate a higher fee, which would allow payments in installments. This is because Manchester United only have a transfer kitty of between 40 and 60 million pounds before any sales. So if they were just to give Zirkzee's release clause as a lump sum, it could take a big chunk, well, the majority of that budget, pretty much, wouldn't it? Marcel, what are your thoughts on Joshua Zirkzee? Of course, we haven't seen much of him in the Euros. He came on for, was it 5-10 minutes, right towards the end of the match the other day. But are you happy with the profile? Are you happy with what you've seen thus far? Are you happy with the speed at which the deal is being done? I was
thinking he hasn't moved.
Me too. I was thinking, because you never know.
I was thinking he's doing the real good listen, but then I was like, no, you want to Garth Crooks. You do want the. Yeah.
I thought the same. I thought he's not blinking, but then sometimes some people just don't blink that much. Well, there you go. Cam, I'll throw that one to you then. Cam, basically what I just said to Marcel, but to you, thoughts?
I'm so impressed with Ineos. They're already working on lots of different deals at the same time. That's a great start. And I actually quite like Zirkzee. I think I said to you guys dropped a message in the group chat the other day saying I was a bit worried that he's obviously so different to Højlund in terms of profile. And I think I got rightly shut down because we only have one striker. It doesn't really matter what type of striker you bring in other than that. You need somebody else. And actually, if you look at some of the other players in the squad, Rashford in particular has always been good when we've got more of a false nine that sort of drops a bit deep, leaves him space to run into. And I think also, actually, in a weird way, Højlund can benefit from it because I think in some games, especially against teams that want to press us high, we could start with the front three of Zirkzee. Oh, how would you say, Owen?
Well, I think Zirkzee's right. It's a hard J. It's definitely Joshua. It's not Joshua. And I think Zirkzee, I think that's right. I mean, who knows?
But yeah, against teams that press us high, we can start with Zirkzee in the middle and Rashford and Højlund either side. And he'll create the space for both of them to be great outlets. And Højlund, actually, the best stuff he's done this season has come when he's attacking space in behind. He's been brilliant running into space. He's been absolutely fantastic towards the end of the season when he came off the bench, had loads of space to run into, cut in, goal, bang, brilliant on both feet. And Josh Zirkzee, by the way, fantastic player. There's question marks I've got, which we'll probably come on to later, but I really like his feet in tight spaces. Fantastic, really good on both sides, and I can see how he fits in the United team. I think you take the best attributes of some of the false nines that have played in the Premier League recently. I think Martial at times has been a very good false nine, very good facilitator for others, very good at his link up. Zirkzee's got elements of that. He's good on both sides. He's nimble. I think I quite like the fact that he's lanky as well, because it means he can sort of push the ball just outside the defender's range to try and tackle him. So it sort of helps him keep the ball in deeper areas and helps him sort of turn. I think there are possibly issues of how he'll deal with being absolutely flattened by some of the Premier League centre-backs. Like you send him to Brentford away or, a Burnley, and he might have, well, not Burnley anymore, but, a more traditional Burnley type team, and he might have some problems. But there's a lot
Everton.
to like.
Everton away. Sean Dyche straight away, that kind of team.
Exactly, yeah. There's certain teams and players that maybe you wouldn't throw him in against, but there's a lot to like about the guy.
A lot to like. Minna, already some accusations in the chat. Luxil says Minna looks like she doesn't give a damn.
Guys, I've got a resting bitch face. I'm trying to work on it. Okay, I've been trying to work on it for the last 25 years.
She had a big operation today. Go on, Minna, show them your.
She did. Look at, under the knife.
She's under the knife. Minna, I can't believe you still got that injection. Take it off. You're fine, Minna.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get out washing the dishes later.
Smart. Smart. That's the stuff that
I would have a sling. I would even have a sling just for this little mark here.
No, not on the light injection.
You should have heard the conversation before we started. KG started off with concern and then moved into quite a bit of frustration very quickly when he went.
But then now realizing what she's doing, what she's doing is incredible. But then love to hear. You know what's so frustrating as well about the Marcel thing, that he's gone, because we were in a stage of him, Steph, in the last one that we did. They were like, no change, nothing's happening. Like, I'm still waiting, and I wonder if those people still feel like that. Not kind of like in your face type vibe, but wow, Man United are acting so different. So, but Minna, what's your thoughts on things so far?
I'm trying to be positive. I like the profile of Zirkzee. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't really know much about him until United were linked to him like 6 months ago. He came up on my radar. But the more I read about him, and guys, if you don't know much about Zirkzee, there's no reason that you shouldn't just go out on. There's so much videos, articles, analysis that you can kind of understand his profile a bit more. It's different to Højlund. I think, his physicality, his athleticism that we haven't seen in a striker at Manchester United for some time now. 6 foot, what is he, 6'4"? He's 6'4" for a striker.
6'4",
definitely a better aerial threat than Rasmus is. And the more that I read about him and the more that I kind of watch videos about him, it seems like his strongest suits is pressing, being that first line of the press, but also Rasmus Højlund's weaknesses is back to goal, link-up play, getting other people involved. I think Zirkzee is going to be that guy that is there to get the wingers involved. They're going to be able to run into ample of space. Before he joined Thiago Motta at Bologna, his preference was to play the number 2 in a 2-man striker. And then Thiago Motta said to him, I'm going to turn you into a 9.5, basically. Not an out-and-out 9, but you're not a 10 either. You're basically a 9.5. And that's the role he's kind of been playing. And I think at United, under Erik ten Hag, he might be able to do well. Maybe that could, don't shoot me, guys, maybe that could be the return of Marcus Rashford. Having a guy like Zirkzee, it could allow him to flourish. Rashford, when he has players to link up well with, is able to do that. And I think the more alternative options that we have, the better. Rasmus is a different profile to Zirkzee. I think United should go out and buy Fulkrug as well. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I said that, and people laughed at me. They said he's 30. What are you thinking? Because I said as a third choice, Man United should have 3.
I
got laughed out of the room, but then they said he wouldn't even be the third choice. Like he'd be up higher up the pecking order. But again, Man United having those many options would be mad. Like you can see there's a striker. Like he's a real striker. To be honest, I wouldn't mind having someone that age in with the youth.
And also, when you're chasing a goal and you just need to throw everything on the pitch, why is that necessarily a bad option? I don't think it's necessarily a bad option.
You're saying maybe pick up the phone, call out their course again, maybe?
No, not that kind of... No.
That ship has sailed.
Wow, you say that. I mean, for his country, game changer. You know what I mean? Keeps coming on, keeps changing games.
But do you think it's because of the way the Netherlands play? That's why.
But it works. It works, Minna. I mean, at both ends, did you see him? It was goal-saving tackle in his own box as well. I mean, I say it facetiously, but I do agree with you to the point of, I think that's the thing with Zirkzee. I mean, I think it is a bit, I've seen this sort of, this is my actually prevailing theory at the moment, which is I genuinely don't believe Man United fans actually know what we want. I think we just sort of say a lot of stuff and then we get it. And we actually get some of the things we want and then we complain about that. It's very obvious. like last season, or for the last 2 seasons, for a variety of different reasons and different people, we've had one striker for like 2 years. And last season with Rasmus, like, again, because he's a young guy, first season in the Premier League, still managed to be our top goal scorer, still managed to score goals in competitions, but we already kind of turned on him a little bit of like, hey, he's not that good. And it's like, well, he's a young guy playing first season in the Premier League. He's our only option. There's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be difficult for him. And the more options we have that are different ones as well, because you're right, I think the more you do see of Zirkzee, you realize that to say that he's similar to Rasmus Højlund is just quite lazy, I think. You know, Zirkzee's much better at knitting up the play. To your point, I don't think he's a striker, but he's more of those sort of modern strikers that you could see him playing as a 10. You could see him in certain games. They're like, oh yeah, we've put him out wide or something like as a inside forward to be more central. And again, from what I've seen, I've liked what I've seen thus far. I haven't seen a lot, but if this was this time last year, I'd be quite nervous with Manchester United's recruitment department. But there's new people in, so you know, low cost deal. Fairly confident with that. I think it'd be a good bit of business. Marcel, I don't know if you heard the question that I was that I was saying, but what are your thoughts, particularly on the speed of things when it comes to these potential signings? Because it's not just Zirkzee now. Of course, De Ligt. It looks like once the Euros ends, Zirkzee, De Ligt could get done fairly quickly. The Ugarte one's maybe a bit further away, but we are being linked to players. Possibly might go in for Branthwaite again. Are you happy now with the speed that you're seeing?
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet connection just playing up. It's just rubbish today. But yeah, De Ligt and Zirkzee, it looks like they're happening now. You know, in terms of you talking about the installments package, if it's going to be, you know, they pay 34 million, I think, up front, or an installments package, but a little bit more money, which will make the money stretch, makes more sense. But I think it's good that, you know, you got 2 players coming in. I think, you know, we need players like, you know, if we just need strength and depth. You know, that was the last thing that Ten Hag was saying about the squad. The squad needs to be more robust, and the squad depth is really poor. So if he can fix those 2 things in this window, and you see players like, let's say, I really think Maguire should be sold, but if you see him as, you know, a bench player now going forward, that's an improvement. If you see someone like Højlund coming off the bench, or you consider him as a bench player now, that's more strength and depth within the squad. For me, it's bringing us back to, you know, the 90s, where you had, you know, 2 positions, but 4 quality strikers vying for the position. Now it will be in the modern game, there's usually just 1 striker. So it'll be 2 quality strikers, or 2 potentially quality strikers vying for 1 position. But we need to get these deals done now. So once they get over the line, that's it. You're taking the next step. Then you're looking at your defensive midfielder, your Ugartes, you know, and hopefully getting Casemiro out, or maybe them 2 vying for the number 6 spot. So, yeah, happy with the speed of things, but, you know, plenty more signings need to be made. My biggest issue really is Owen and everyone else is the outgoings.
Oh no, he's gone.
It was going well.
But then it's a great time for him to. It's a good time for him to stop still. So that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, maybe he'll come back. You never know. A couple of super chats here. Katu says, "Can't wait to share another season with UV. Big up, indeed." It does feel like today, doesn't it? When the players start coming back, then it's like when you play like Football Manager or something, and all of the league tables reset, and you go, "Oh, it's actually officially next season now. The new season is upon us." And United playing like, what was it? How many days? Is it like 8 days? Something like that? 10 days? Something like that? It's not. Yeah, exactly. Not even that long. Jason says Zirkzee and Bruno Fernandes will get in each other's way, and they will press for no reason. Well, you would hope that, again, sort of the tactical game plan would avoid them running into each other like headless chickens or whatever. Just a quick one, because this is something that is kind of developing quite a lot this evening, just in the last few minutes, regarding Mason Greenwood. So we had heard earlier on today from Fabrizio Romano that there had been a verbal official offer from Marseille for him. We had also heard from David Ornstein that Greenwood was at Carrington today, was never planned to train or anything like that, was there for a short amount of time, had a meeting with all of the sort of football leadership team about his move away from Manchester United, and I guess a bit of a status update on that. Fabrice Hawkins, French-based journalist, is saying that Mason Greenwood has never been so close to Marseille. There is not much missing to find a total agreement between Manchester United and the player. The transfer fee reportedly should be around 25 million euros plus bonuses. Now, some of those bonuses could include a salon clause. Fabrizio Romano saying in the last few minutes, there's going to be actually a big salon clause into the deal. It could even be up to 40 or 50% of a future sale. The clubs are in talks about that, but it looks like this Marseille one is happening. Of course, also from a financial fair play point of view, would be pure profit. KG, what's your thoughts on all of that? 25 million euros, that's about 21 million quid, plus bonuses, plus a 50% salon clause. Are you happy with that number? Did you expect a bit more? Do you expect more to come in the future? What are your thoughts about it?
You know, I kind of expected this number. As soon as we started to hear about the sell-on clause, because that was the deal that interested me the most. I don't think if Lazio had the sell-on clause for their situation, I don't think it was there. I think they were just going to offer us, was it in the thing of the 30 or something like that? So I thought, nah, not really interested in that. One thing we know for sure is this guy is going to go on and do something. He's going to go to this club. He's linking up with the Zirkzee, and he's going to do well, you know. And everyone's like, well, how do you know he's going to get sold on in a situation? Well, the French league, in terms of what they're doing with their TV finances, they can't actually turn down money. That's why they're in a situation where they're like, well, look, we'll take this player and still leverage with you guys and say, hey, you know what? You can take some of the sell-on fee, because they plan, they know what they're doing as well. Signing Mason Greenwood has to be seen as somewhat of an investment. You get a player that's never really worth, you get a player that's not worth 20 million, 20s, he's worth way more, but because of the situation. But time changes a lot of things in terms of the eyes of the media. As it starts to be in a conversation here, once he do it in France as well, again, he'll get that another move to, I don't know, back to Spain, potentially, back to Italy. Like there's so much that he could potentially do, right? So for me, I just think they're being smart. Everyone knows the game that they're playing, right? And I think Man United have done well, because they can't keep this guy at the club. Like today, they realized, I was like, well, you can stay only for a little bit. See you later. Jog on. And that deal should be probably announced tonight, if not the very next morning, because he has to report again. How many times can he say, sorry, mate, you're not allowed in? Not like Sancho.
Well, yeah, or in that meeting, they've just said, look, okay, Marseille thing's close. We've got an offer. You don't have to come back this week, or you don't have to come back till this is sorted, something like that. I mean, I don't know if it'll be like mandatory every day. That would seem pretty redundant, wouldn't it?
It would, again, him coming in and not training with the squad, because the one thing we've never seen him in Man United training wear. Since he's got into all this trouble, you've never seen him. You've seen him training with others, like the non-branded stuff with Scholler and all these other people. You've never seen him in Man United training wear, and there's a reason for that.
Mina, what are your thoughts on that figure? 25 million euro plus a 50% salon clause. Is that kind of the best I can hope for, given the circumstances?
Yeah, I think it's more so to do with I think the sell-on clause is a big part. I think they might get around that region for Jadon Sancho as well. Just with Jadon Sancho, I don't think they're going to get a relatively higher sell-on clause. But yeah, I think it's just the best situation for both the player and the team. I don't really have much to say on that other than that.
Just actually, you brought up Jadon Sancho. I want to open this one up to the panel, yeah, because we were talking about this morning, Flex and myself, on the transfer view. There was a little bit in the Athletic saying about how some viewed today's pre-season beginning as maybe a chance to turn over a new leaf. Some people are saying that because we still don't know. I mean, unless I've missed it, no one actually knows what's happened today regarding.
There's no
Sancho.
sighting of Jadon Sancho or no update about him.
Exactly. So it's still very much up in the air. You would have thought people would have seen him driving in to Carrington, unless there's this sort of back entrance that nobody knows about. Cam, I'll go to you first. Is there any chance that one does get resolved, or is it completely done?
I'm more interested in what he's doing, because it's August now, or not August, July. Like, surely he's not still playing FIFA. Like, it's nearly time for the next FIFA. You can't still be, unless he's, I don't know, maybe he's big into his pro club, so his mates are still on. I don't know, but he's not coming back to United, and I don't want him anywhere near the club. I think he's a bit of a disgrace. Not a bit of a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. He's had plenty of chances to be a serious player, and he's thrown it away for some stupid ego thing. Just, you've got a chance that almost anyone in the world would die for. You're getting paid 300k a week or whatever stupid amount he's getting paid. Just show up to training, swallow your pride for 1 minute, and just get back on the pitch. But if he doesn't want to do that, which clearly he doesn't, get out the club. There's no point. Like, Man United's not a charity. We shouldn't be giving people stuff for free. It's the same thing as a little bit similar to Martial in the sense he was always unavailable for a very long period of time, and lots of other players have been unavailable for long periods of time. If you're not going to be available, that's one of the things that we need to expect. You need to be available when the team needs you, and he hasn't been, so he needs to go. I don't care how good or bad he is, and to be honest, he's not really shown that he's particularly good anyway. But aside from that, he's the sort of character that you can't have around the club. He seems to just be sapping people's energy. He seems to just cause more of a storm about what he's going to do next or what he is or isn't doing, and he hasn't delivered on the pitch. I think even Cristiano Ronaldo towards the end, and this is Cristiano Ronaldo we're talking about, multiple Ballon d'Or winner, by the end, the media storm and all the antics off the pitch weren't worth it. Jadon Sancho hasn't delivered even 0.5% of what Ronaldo has in his career, and the media circus that comes with it is just not worth persisting with him. It's a waste of time and a waste of space.
How do you really feel? Marcel, what are your thoughts on the Jadon Sancho one? Do you expect him to come back? Do you echo what Cam says? What are your thoughts?
I echo that. And I expect an apology, regardless of if he stays or not. I expect an apology. If he doesn't go into Ten Hag's office and says sorry, then he's ruined as far as I'm concerned. How can he not go into the office and say sorry? What, that he was out of order?
Is he so?
There you go.
So, I don't trust your Wi-Fi anymore. So I'm like when you start talking, I'm like, oh no, you're gone.
No, I'm finished, bro. I'm finished. Simple as that.
But I mean, what if he leaves? If he leaves, he's not going to apologize, is he?
He should, just out of manners and respect.
But then, if you're going to apologize, he might as well stay, won't he?
Well, let's see. He might let's see how he feels, because that's just whatever it is. But he should just apologize out of disrespect. It was disrespectful what he done.
You know what's so funny? Like, just looking at this situation this morning, I was definitely bugging. I was like, is there a way? Now, me and Owen spoke on the phone about this. I was like, is there any way they just do that thing that lads do where they're like, you have a falling out with one of your mates, and then you see each other after a long time, you're like, yeah, just got to put these cones out. And when they just start just doing stuff, they kind of get on with the activity more so than the conversation, and kind of like, I don't know, not deal with it, basically. I mean, like, you know what? Let's forget all that stuff. It's a new season. Let's start again. Little handshake and you keep it moving. I thought it could have been one of those ones. But then when I play it back, most of the people this morning was like, nah, KG, all the years that he's been at this club, when has Jadon Sancho had a good season? When has he ever said, when can you, put your hat and say, you know what, he was fantastic in this moment? When? And to be honest, I can't remember a solid time of, wow, Jadon Sancho's the answer to the right-hand side, or wow, without Jadon Sancho. Like, even when we lost to all those games I was losing, I never thought, you know who would fix this? Jadon Sancho. I never thought like we were missing out on a player. Like when Anthony had his investigation, it would have been nice to have Sancho, and it would have been smart for him to, say, look, well, the guy that was in my way is kind of gone. I can take the most. I can be ready. But he kissed another badge while he's still a Man United player. You can't get away with that.
Minna, what do you think about Sancho?
Yeah, I think Sancho's entire situation is just another shortcoming of the previous regime. I mean, they took 12 months to sign. That when they identified him as a signing, it took them another year. I don't know if you remember, to actually sign him. That year is the same year that it coincided with the summer that we brought Cristiano Ronaldo. So that completely changed the tide for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we brought in Sancho, which I assume was the plan for Manchester United, and then a couple of weeks later we're bringing in Cristiano Ronaldo. That completely changes everything. And you're right, Sancho hasn't had a successful season at the club because he's not had like a consistently straight season. His first season is when Oli got sacked and Rangnick came in. Second season, Ten Hag comes in. He's struggling with off the pitch stuff. Third season is when this whole debacle with Erik Ten Hag happens. And again, for me, the cons outweigh the pros. So it is best for him and for Erik ten Hag and for the entire club and the entire situation for them to let him go. But also, can I just say, talk about Sancho, I don't want to compare it to Donny van der Beek, but Donny van der Beek's signing is another shortcoming of the previous regime. They went on to sell him for 500k. He's a guy that United arguably probably shouldn't have signed in the first place because there was nowhere for him to kind of fit into. There was no plan for him. It was just, oh, here's your signing, shut up. I feel like Jadon Sancho was that kind of signing as well. Man United recruited him for the right-hand side despite the fact that they identified that he is better off on the left. How does that even make sense? How does that make sense? So all of this, I think, could have been avoided if it wasn't for the previous regime. But let this be a lesson, hopefully, to Manchester United. Not just, I don't think it's just the money aspect, but attitude is a big part as well. And also, a lot of people saying he has to apologize. Listen, I kind of get why he doesn't want to. I understand the reasoning. He doesn't want to apologize as a person. But as a football fan, I don't agree with it. If that makes sense. I get why he doesn't want to apologize. But as a football fan, I don't agree with it. So I think it's best both for him and the club for them to leave. But I don't think they're going to get a lot of money for him. They're holding out for 40, 45. They're not going to get that.
Yeah. I mean, that was basically the conversation me and KG were having earlier on today about the whole centering around the apology thing. And we came to the same conclusion as you, Minna, which was like, obviously you can, in your own personal pride, you can be like, oh, I don't feel like I should apologize, or I'm not going to apologize. And that's fine. That's your own decision and own prerogative. But the idea of like not apologizing and things will just stay as is, it's kind of laughable. If you look at it through everyday life, if you get into a conflict with a superior to yours in a work environment, either you apologize or you're just not going to be there. Like that's how it's always going to work. Not just at football, but in, again, any workplace. If you get into a big argument with your manager, they go apologize. You go no. They're like, well, then you're going to be on disciplinary, aren't you? Like that's how it's going to work out. The only thing, to be honest, that surprises me the most with this Sancho stuff was that paragraph on The Athletic saying that some see it as like possibly a clean slate, and I thought that it would be kind of similar to that of Mason Greenwood today, even though obviously the situations are totally different. I thought it might be a similar situation where he shows up, he has a meeting with the football leadership team, they kind of touch base as to where everything is, the expectations that you're not going to train, they send him away again for however long till this deal gets done, or they find a resolution. But the fact that, we've heard nothing about it today is somewhat eerie, because we heard something about Greenwood, but we didn't hear anything about Sancho.
I just honestly feel like there must be something going on in the background, definitely. And there might be, it's two ways, because could there be conversations like, we're not going to get enough money for you? Currently, we're waiting for Juve to get rid of Chiesa so they can and they might not even come back to Sancho, but they showed serious interest in Sancho. So we're waiting for another club to do business before Sancho can make the move. And that's baffling. Like, that's not even a guarantee that we can agree a deal with these guys. So for them, it's like, well, we can't leave him on ice forever. At some point, even down to like fair, like even like employee tribunal type situation. Well, they won't let you train. You can't be in another room. This situation can't continue like it is. So we have to sort this out. And I think just calmer heads sometimes just need to prevail, because it could be a thing where we'll get fit, get ready, have a pre-season, and if we can offload you, we will. If we can't, you're part of the squad.
No, it's true. I mean, the only thing I think that did come out about him today was possibly that I think that he turned down some offer from some club. Yeah, and it was very mysterious, wasn't it? A very important offer. Very important offer because he wants Juventus, like you said. So maybe that is where he's going to end up. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, by the way, guys, if you haven't already, and be sure to subscribe. We hit 170,000 subscribers today, by the way. So big up, appreciate everyone for their support. Also, as well, if you haven't hit the like button already, we've got nearly 1,200 people watching. We're currently at close to 300 likes. So let's get the likes up, see if we can hit 500. I do want to talk about this story today regarding left backs. And there is a story from the Daily Mail from Sammy Mockball. Now, we know that Luke Shaw, he's just got back on the pitch at the Euros. He hasn't played since February, but he's just started playing. But we know we need competition. Terrell Malacia didn't play at all last season. Don't even think he even trained with the team last season. So obviously we're in the market for a left back. And according to the Mail, Chelsea left back Ben Chilwell is among the options Manchester United are considering as they look for competition for Luke Shaw this summer. Immediately, Minna, you shook your head. What are your thoughts?
I promise you guys, just put me left back. I promise you. I promise you. I can't wear shorts by itself, so you have to give me leggings to wear underneath it. But I will play at left back, just so that I don't have to see Ben Chilwell at left back.
If you get injured, we wear the thing on. You wear the thing like you got on your hands 100%. And all that kind of stuff.
I'll even take it off and stick it right here if I got a little cut right here. Honestly, Ben Chilwell, nah. If we're going to buy a Premier League's left back, there are multiple different players that are way better options. It's as simple as that. I don't think, by the way, there's anything to the story. I actually think it's Chelsea planting stories to kind of gauge traction for him because they need to sell players as well. So he could be possibly one of the players they're looking to sell. I'm not buying it. We already did them a favor with Mason Mount. I will actually lose it. I will lose it if we sign Ben Chilwell.
Yeah. Marcel, thoughts on Ben Chilwell at left back?
Options. There's more options. It's more options. If it's affordable, it's more options at left back. And that's what we're going to need. Luke Shaw's not available the whole season. I think Luke Shaw should be left centre back, if I'm honest. So, and we need to get Maguire gone. If you're looking at the English quota, put him in. Why not? You're going to need numbers there. So, two possible. And plus Harry and Mass is there, plus Luke Malacia. You're going to have a load of injury-prone left backs. But Luke Shaw, I think Luke Shaw's career path should be left centre back. He just should be. So then the competition is gonna be Chilwell, Amas, and Malacia. And how much is Chilwell gonna be in terms of affordability and price? If it makes sense, then do it. I wouldn't be totally against it, if I'm honest.
KG, you look puzzled. You look.
I just don't know if Marcel's doing this on purpose. Like, there's a little part that's like, Marcel, are you taking the piss, or you're being real right now? Because
KG, be careful, because I heard Marcel comes for bold people in it. So
that's fine.
I heard that the other day.
No, but
yeah, it's been a long time since KG's had here as well.
It's been forever.
Yeah.
So Marcel, let me get this right. You want to get to back up to get more energy, more for the club. You wouldn't mind bringing in Ben Chilwell as an option.
How much is it, KG? How much is the deal? Is it something that's affordable?
Even if I said, would you do it for 10 million?
Well, put it this way,
that's a good price.
Park the fee to one side. He is one of Chelsea's higher earners. He's on reportedly £200,000 a week at Chelsea.
You doing it still, Marcel?
It's about affordability.
What I want you to do before you finish, I need you to go and just have a little check on. I want you to check his history, because this is Ben not well, bro. There's nothing well about this guy, bro. I can't believe that you're saying you might as well. This is like Luke Shaw part 2. The fact that you're still wanting to continue with Luke Shaw and make him a centre-back doesn't make sense. Like, I can't believe what you're saying right now.
Injury history. Can we tell you his injury history, KG?
Oh, go ahead.
In the last 3 seasons, 23-24 missed 35 games, 22-23 missed 20 games, 21-22 missed 45 games. Prior to that, he had a couple of seasons where it was only single digits, 7, 6, and 3. Prior to that, 13 games, 16, 17, 34 games. So he's had 4 seasons with our academy, with our medical team. That's what you want to do. At left back again, by the way. We're literally cursing that left back position completely. Let's get another injured left back.
I'll retract my statement, KG. But I'm only saying on affordability, if it makes sense. 10 million doesn't seem that bad. And Luke Shaw at left centre-back is a great idea, by the way, guys.
No.
Don't sleep on that.
No.
Luke Shaw at left centre-back is a fantastic idea.
Luke Shaw's done. Luke Shaw's finished, bro. Stop trying to find a new position. We're not fitting these players in. Luke Shaw is done. Even when he came on for England, I was like, all right, cool. How long is he going to be playing for? The same way
your
you
theory
treat...
on that, KG, with the Luke Shaw why he got brought on?
Oh yeah, I just think Gareth Southgate didn't want to get in trouble for bringing a player that he never used, so he just bought Luke Shaw, and he never knew Saka was going to go in and do something mad and mercurial like that. So he just thought, Luke Shaw, there you go. They can't hit me with that and say, well, you bought this left back and you never played him. But honestly, like, we have to move on from some of the stuff that we're trying to do before. While I rate Luke Shaw, bro, let's be honest. He has the same injury record as Martial, and he doesn't get the same level of critique for it. We call Martial all the cusses on, like, broken biscuit, this, that, and the other. Like, we can't, like, we've said so many things about this guy. Luke Shaw pulls up in the same way, never a stretcher, just walks off, and he's out. We waited so long. England had to wait till that recent game. Luke Shaw was supposed to be ready. That was the Man United season. We got rid of Reguilon purely on the basis that Luke Shaw was going to be ready soon. Was he? Absolutely
and Malacia.
not.
Both of them, by the way. Both of them are going to be ready soon.
This. We must stop this. This Luke Shaw thing has to end. It has to stop. And that's why Man United I don't think he's like... Man United are still probably relying and hoping that Malacia comes good next season, but they've got their eyes on left backs, but they got more problems. I think left back is a bigger problem. I think it's one of the biggest problems we've got at the club, if I'm being honest with you. Left back is an issue, big issue. And I'm surprised no one's saying when we putting money down on another left back. We need 2 centre-backs guaranteed, but we need a left back.
I think you can do a patchwork. I think you can do a patch-up job there. I mean, Reguilon is someone that you can maybe get back at the club if I'm announcing his name properly. He's someone that looked all right, but he was also injury-prone, KG. Okay, Chilwell injury-prone, and maybe they need to do better scouting work there. Malacia's going to end up he's been gone for God knows how long, injury-prone. Harry Amass is very young with high potential, but you can do a patch. There's going to be 50 games in a season. You can maybe get, 3 players to cover 20 games each. You can do that. There can be a patch-up job at left back.
We saw, we had
this is the patch-up job in question. This is how it's going to look. This is how the patch-up job is going to look. There's no patch-up job. This is the patch-up job. It's not happening. It's not happening.
No, then you haven't learned from last season, bro. Like last season, we conceded the most cutback goals probably out of most teams in the Premier League. There's so many attacks down the left-hand side. We were horrible. So to be now saying, you know what, next season, let's patch this up again, I'm not interested in that. We have to solidify the back four.
Yeah, but we had Lindelof there. Lindelof, centre-backs. We had Amrabat, defensive midfielders. Cutbacks involved CDMs that were not consistently played. I think if you have actual left-backs playing in left-back, but they're all not fit enough to be able to complete a whole season's body of work, which was what we're all saying all the left-backs in question that I just mentioned are incapable of doing, but they can cover, 2 or 3 of them can cover the course of a season. You can get away with a, for quote-unquote, 3-star left-back for the course of a season instead of having to, because I would want Lucas Hernandez if we had all the money in the world. That's why I'm saying, hey, listen, get me someone that's affordable for 10 million that can do, the job for 20, 25 games and then switches out and gives Luke Shaw a rest even. I still think Luke Shaw could be left centre back anyway. I think he's the kind of player that's happy to play 25, 30 games a season. Now, he doesn't look like he's obsessed with going, full pelt for the course of a season anyway. So, he's someone that's covered for Lucas, for Martinez, for me.
Cam, what are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, if you can say Luke Shaw, you need to be fit from, August until November, then you get a 3-month rest. Chilwell, you have to be fit from the middle of November to the middle of January. And then Reguilon or Amass or whoever, you be fit for the last 3 months. Great. But they're all unreliable. You also know they're all going to be injured at the exact same time. Same as has happened this season. I think I was worried a little bit that there's a bit of legs in the Chilwell thing, because I had a look at the squad earlier. I don't want Chilwell, by the way, just to be absolutely clear on that. But I'm a bit worried. I had a look at the squad, and in terms of the makeup of English players, obviously there's a quota they've got to hit for Premier League and European rules, whatever it is. If we lose Harry Maguire, we lose Scott McTominay, we maybe get rid of 1 or 2 others as well, we might be looking a little bit tight on that quota. So I think if Chilwell's available on a cut price deal, it could be that he's someone they look to
a 200 and something £200 a week quota that you want to fill. Bring through the youngsters. There's got to be.
I'd say the same
with the youngsters. There's no way that we'll be on. We won't hit the quota.
I'd say the same, but if you look at other positions where we'd be looking to sign someone, if we don't get Branthwaite, which other English player is going to come in? And you don't really see any first-team players coming in. So you may as well bring in someone who could possibly at least contribute and be genuinely a positive straight away. And Chilwell probably maybe ticks that box if he's fit. That's the only logic I can see for it. But I do also see it could be Chelsea planting the fake briefs in the papers and doing the madness they normally do.
A couple of super chats here. Jason says Ten Hag should say sorry to the Manchester United fans for the crap we watched last season. Super chat here says, hello, my name is Usman. Big fan of the show. Hope you're enjoying decent weather. Big up everyone here. Hope you're good, my friend Minna. With the injury as well, you know what I mean? And Monty says, as long as kind of what Cameron said, as long as we can coordinate injuries for Shaw, Malacia, and Chilwell, we might be able to get a full season out of them. Marcel needs a vacation. I think with the Chilwell stuff, I really struggle. That would be, I mean, you talk about, is there change? Isn't there change? That would be something where you would look at it and go, man, Manchester United have not learnt their lesson at all. We just had a season where we didn't have a left back. That position was cursed last season. We had 3 left backs in, and by the end of the season, like we mentioned, we're having to play Wan-Bissaka or Dalot there for like the last 2 months or so. And then if our big plan to kind of secure that position was to get someone in that's arguably got just as bad of an injury record as Luke Shaw, would be just pure madness. And that would be typical Manchester United.
Some people, Minna, I don't want to know what you think, but some people don't want De Ligt purely because of some of the injuries he got. This is even worse. This is like
way worse, KG.
This is like De Ligt times. This is to the what power? This is ridiculous. I can't believe we're saying this tonight. All right, go on, Minna.
By the way, with a decimated medical team, I don't know how you could want Chilwell when we have the medical team that we have. He's going to be on his deathbed with this medical team. I'm not even joking. And also, there is much better left back. I'd take Nori. I get it. You lot are saying from a financial perspective, but I don't think United should be buying people just because it's a cheap option. We did that before. Isn't this meant to be the new way, the Ineos way? The Ineos way shouldn't be buying cheap and cheerful. That shouldn't be the case. Just because someone's affordable, that should not be the case. You're saying between Luke Shaw, Malacia, who I might even think we might not even get much out of him this year. I actually feel sorry for him.
I think he's back. I think he's coming back. I think he's coming back.
I don't know, man. I feel sorry for him. Whether or not he comes back or not, I feel sorry for him. But we shouldn't be doing Chelsea any favors, guys. We shouldn't be doing Chelsea any favors.
Don't bail. We got to stop bailing
them out. We're already dealing with one broken guy that they gave us. You can't expect us to deal with another broken guy.
What you saying? Mason Mount's putting in a good word for him as well.
Maybe.
Do you reckon that'll be a part of it? They're good friends.
Maybe.
They are good friends.
Together at the F1 race,
exactly. Yeah, they all show up.
Like when Bayern signed Eric Dyer as well.
For Harry Kane,
obviously they're in England. They both speak English. They should be not that difficult to adjust. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think Minna's right too in the sense that there's nothing wrong with Ineos looking for not low cost deals but smart deals financially. But what we've seen that with some of the ones we've been linked with already. With if you sign Joshua Zirkzee for £34 million or some kind of structure that's maybe a little bit more but less up front, given his age, given the fact that he has been rated, maybe he's taken a bit of the long way to the top, but he is rated. You go, well, that's smart business. If you manage to sign Matthijs de Ligt for around £40 million when he's like 24, 25, and there is still legs in that, maybe a couple of injury problems, but there's still, again, then they're quite overblown. Go, that's pretty good business. If you can get Ugarte for around a similar price point, you go, that's not bad going. That's pretty good business. That just because, like you said, it's a cut price deal for someone like Ben Chilwell, that doesn't automatically evaporate all of the issues.
They're not all good deals.
It doesn't evaporate that.
I honestly thought you lot were going to laugh this out the room and was going to be like, it was a moot point. I can't believe we started imagining how do we get him into the squad And what will we do in terms of the rotation of him and 3 other players? I don't want to do that. What we want is the team to be when you could like a Jose side, you could name the 11 most times and they stay fit. Arsenal, our manager forever goes on about Arsenal and how, he was mentioning them in most press conferences, but how they stayed fit. Now, for Man United to have success, we need to keep the best players on the field for as long as possible with rotation to give them a rest, but play these guys.
No, I agree. I do want to talk about something as well before we wrap something up with some more transfer stuff regarding centre-backs. Now, obviously, we know that Matthijs de Ligt, again, looks like that one's going to happen. But there was some reports today suggesting that, as has been reported quite a lot, actually, by David Ornstein, this move for de Ligt is separate to Manchester United's pursuit for Jared Branthwaite. And Manchester United could go in for a second bid for him, although the issue is that the valuation between Everton and Manchester United is quite steep. Cam, what do you think about Jared Branthwaite in that one? Do you think that one can still happen? Do United need more than just one centre-back this summer? What are your thoughts on the possibility of that deal happening?
Definitely need 2 centre-backs, I'd say. I'll get Lindelof out the door fairly quickly. I think he's past his purpose. He was all right for a couple of years, but yeah, he's done at this club now. It sounds like Maguire's going to leave as well. He might actually have some resale value. So if he goes, then yeah, we definitely need 2. And then that leaves us with, if we get both of them, Martinez, de Ligt, Branthwaite, Kambwala, and Johnny Evans. Am I missing somebody? Because that still seems a bit light.
Yeah, that was literally going to be my question. Does that seem a bit light to you, though?
It does. I think Marcel's point about Luke Shaw possibly being able to cover centre-back is there as well. And that is a fair point. But it does seem, even with that, if Maguire and Lindelof both go, I think we might need 3, That does seem really, really light. What do you guys think?
It's Evans. Did you mention Evans?
Yeah, I said Evans in that and Kambwala.
Yeah, it is like.
Yeah, especially with the injury history that some of them have got, Martinez and de Ligt in particular. You're 2 injuries away from, somebody and Johnny Evans for most of the season. Again.
Yeah. Again, literally. Marcel, what are your thoughts on Jared Branthwaite? How many centre-backs do you think we need this summer?
Yeah, definitely. If you can get rid of Lindelof and Maguire, that's brilliant business. That's going to be really good in terms of making the team quality. The floor, the ceiling goes up, and the floor. We need some floor raisers there as well. So, I would say maybe 2 is maybe more doable because there's just so much work that needs to be done across the whole of the squad. So if you can get 2 centre backs in, I think that's a huge improvement. I think, unfortunately, maybe you're carrying Lindelof because it's so hard to maybe, do all the business that's required. Like I said at the top of the show, I think you need the outgoings is the most important thing this season. If Maguire's still here, if Eriksen is still here, if Cass, okay, maybe you could carry Cass another season, but if Cass for me is still here, Scott is still here, it's just a problem. You're going back to when there's problems, you're calling upon players that Ten Hag had said were surplus to requirements in the first season. Maguire and Scott. You're going back towards players that we saw in the second season weren't capable of playing the advanced next levels, next phase 3 football. Casemiro, that's the issue that we're going to deal with if you don't do the efficient business this season, the most imperative business this transfer window, which is selling footballers. You're going to go back to only people that are draining energy at the football club. Jadon Sancho. It's just a big issue. So we have to fix it.
Sancho just catching strays for no reason.
Sancho at centre back.
So could you imagine, just even talking about what we need to do in regards to centre backs, Branthwaite is a strange one because we're really going for him. He's going to be expensive, but de Ligt would be the number 1 centre back in him and Martinez, right? Is Branthwaite coming to, I don't know, compete for a space, or is he coming knowing that he's gonna have to fight his way into the team?
We do this though, don't we, KG? We do this a lot when we sign players. We immediately go, but how's this person going to feel about coming out the team? And we're so hyper-focused on the 11 as opposed to, let's say, the 18 or the 23-man squad. Like, you look at any team that is successful, it's not about just the starting 11. Like, any successful team needs more than just, obviously, you've got maybe your best pair, but the drop-off isn't that dramatic. I mean, we're playing in Europa League this season again. We know what the drag that can be on the squad. So I don't know if it would be initially like a reaction where it's like, what does that mean about De Ligt? Or what does that mean about Mertens? Like, you're just going to have some form of combination, aren't you?
Next season. I know Martinez is the number one centre-back next season. Like, has to be. De Ligt, like, there's a reason why he's coming here. Obviously, he knows the conversation that Ten Hag he had with him must have been a serious one, because he said he doesn't want to talk to PSG, doesn't want to talk to Liverpool. Like, so we must have given him assurities that you're going to play here. You're going to be our number one centre-back.
If we get Brentford, KNG, then Martinez becomes a 6 or left back.
Huh?
If there's competition for 3 footballers at centre back, Martinez gets shifted to the 6 or left back.
I'm just trying to see if there's a here we go. Some people.
I think I agree with KG in the sense of I think if you're going to have Manchester United's best 11, then Martinez is going to probably most often be in that because of his ability to bring the ball out the back. We saw that towards the end of the season when he was playing, and we also actually saw it in his absence of the team when he's not playing. How much Manchester United miss him in terms of the way that Ten Hag wants to play, but. Again, I do think we get a bit hyper-focused on that. I think one thing I do think, and Min, I'll be interested to know what you think about this. Are we assuming maybe too much when it comes to some of the outgoings this summer? I mean, we're talking there about how many centre-backs could go. Is actually the reality of, it's probably not going to be Maguire and Lindelof. It's probably going to be one of them. And, when you talk about McTominay and Casemiro, again, probably going to be one of them, not both of them. Do we have to maybe manage our expectations a bit more with that one?
Yeah, I think we're being a bit, overly optimistic when it comes to outgoings, because we're approaching the second week of July and United haven't sold anyone yet. Literally, even the people that haven't gone to international tournaments, people who haven't gone to the Euros, people that haven't gone to Copa America, nothing. Now with the centre back thing, I would keep Maguire because I think one, De Ligt is coming in for Varane replacement. I think 2, Branthwaite or whoever comes in as the second one will be coming in as a Lindelof replacement. I think between Lindelof and Maguire being sold is not the case. I think it's between Maguire and McTominay being sold. I think if McTominay is sold, Maguire will stay. And I think if Maguire is sold, McTominay will stay. I know they don't play in the same position, but I do think it makes more sense for Manchester United to sell McTominay and then trigger Maguire's 1-year extension to keep him for, because his contract finishes next year. And also, you're getting more out of Maguire as a rotational option personally than you would get from Lindelof. That's in my opinion. Now, in terms of Jared Branthwaite, I've never been sold on the idea of Jared Branthwaite. I've seen him play multiple times, seen him play at Old Trafford. Now, I've never been sold for him on that price tag. 72 million is ridiculous.
Absolutely not.
Now, I do have a feeling that the idea of having Branthwaite, say, for 40 or 45 million, something more in line with what Manchester United want. Bear in mind, on his loan spell at PSV, who developed him? Ruud van Nistelrooy. That was his manager. So I could imagine that being an option. And you're right, Owen, in terms of the fact that why is it always starter or nothing? You look at City, look how many defenders they got. Look how many defenders they got. All of them somehow find time to play throughout the season. And nobody ever says, oh, if this person starts, then that one can't start. No, we need to have a good... I'm tired of just having depth for the sake of having depth. We need quality in that depth. And I wouldn't be against the idea of having another defender on the bench as an option, because you're right. I think Cam said it earlier. Is De Ligt, Martinez, they could be 1 or 2 injuries away from missing the rest of the season. So rather than finding ourselves in a situation where we had to play a DM in centre-back, I'd rather have those options on the bench that are of good quality. Now, I don't think it's not end all be all with Branthwaite. If they approach him one more time, if they approach Everton one more time and Everton are kind of stern with their 72 million price tag, keep it moving. Keep it moving. There's other centre-backs.
A couple of super chats here before we wrap things up. Lil Yo-Yo says, say Malacia 3 times at the Mirror and Katawal by Manchester United. Lil Yo-Yo is continuing to be a menace. Superstar Nathan Joseph's been a member for 3 months, says Marcel talks about carrying people, but is happy for Chilwell to come and pick up a check from A&E on some Jobs hair tip. Make it make sense. Just very quickly, we'll go around the panel. We'll reconvene this time next week. By this time next week, are we going to have minimum a here we go on at least one transfer? KG, I'll start with you.
We're going to have 2 players in and 2 outgoings.
By this time next week? That's a lot of movement. Minna, what say you?
I say we might have 3 outgoings and 1 official incoming, and the other one will still be in the process of being completed. And I think we'll speed up the process on Ugarte or a DM. I think by the US tour, I know you didn't answer about the US tour. By the US tour, we'll have 3 players coming in.
3 players? KG, could you imagine?
Yeah.
I hope he sucks. Cam, what do you think? This time next week, how many here we goes?
Well, if all goes well, on Wednesday, the Netherlands will be out of the Euros. So that means we give them Thursday to get over it. Friday morning, 9 o'clock, phone up De Ligt and Zirkzee, get over to Manchester, get them on a flight early doors, sorted. So I think, we could have potentially 2 incoming sorted. They might have a bit of trouble in training with Maguire and the other English lads that are still there, but that's to be expected. But I don't think we'll get rid of anyone by this time next week. Actually, maybe Greenwood, if he counts.
That's possible, yeah.
He counts. Jadon Sancho.
Absolutely. Marcel, how many here we go, do you think, by this time next week?
1 of 1, so 1 in, 1 out.
1 in, 1 out. I think, I tell you what, the more you think about it, 2 incoming here we goes and 1 outgoing here we go. I think that's probably about right. You mentioned Greenwood. I mean, that one's really close, isn't it? Zirkzee looks really close. De Ligt looks fairly close. So, I'm going to go 2 in, 1 out. I mean, that's not saying, again, that this is going to be like they're going to be official or anything like that, but the sort of confirmation from Fabrizio. And finally, WJ Barrett says, Branthwaite move is to cover Martinez, injury prone. I suppose the only problem is with the Branthwaite one, with the price point, if it is that it's just about, KG's going, KG. If it is only about cover for Martinez, then that's when it gets into territory of very expensive cover if ever we get close to the price that Everton are looking for.
He's a young player, isn't he? He's barely been injured in his career. He's never had any really long absences from what I can see. And he can play both sides, great on both feet. And he's going to get better and better as time goes on. Martinez and De Ligt, I mean, they're not old, but I think Branthwaite, I believe, is a couple of years younger than both. So, he's got longevity there on his side. I think it's a signing that at 70 million you can probably find better value, but he wouldn't be a bad option. And in terms of obviously the squad building rules with quotas and targets from nations, he's going to tick that for the next 10, 15 years. So when you view it as a long-term investment, even if he does cost quite a bit, I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think it gives us flexibility as well, is that you look at Arsenal, look at City, one of the things they always have in their teams, no matter who's injured, who's out of form, who's suspended or whatever, they've always got a certain number of left-footed players in the team or players that can use their left foot really well. And having then Branthwaite brought in on top of hopefully some left-backs that are actually fit, on top of Martinez, on top of Zirkzee as well, who I believe is left-footed, that suddenly brings that balance back to United. Obviously, there's certain players who are left-footed in this team that probably shouldn't be playing, like Anthony. But, we've got a bit of balance there, which is what we need to see. So I like Branthwaite from that perspective.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Big up to the panel. Big up to Minna. Big up to Cam. Big up to Marcel. Big up to KG, who's off to do Monday Night Smoke. So be sure to check him out. And we'll be back again this time next week. We're out of here. Peace.